Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Another virtual rendition of the greatest spectacle in motorsports. Here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's Caleb Hunt's running of the Indianapolis 250 here on VSPEED. Brought to you proudly by Drive for Humanity. Drive for Humanity is a 501c3 based out of Indianapolis, run by ARCA Menard Series driver Brayton Laster. Also pretty good commentator, worked with him before, excellent guy. Their goal is to raise awareness and help those in need for the unhoused, those that are unable to put food on the table, or just people going through rough times in general. In 2025, Brayton is donating canned goods, non-perishables, and clothing at local food shelters or food banks at near every racetrack he visits on the ARCA Series schedule. Donate for as low as $5 today and get your name on his ARCA car to help make a difference. DriveForHumanity.org is the website you can go to learn more about this great cause. Appreciate them being here for the ride. I'm your host and producer tonight, Morgan Cook. You are watching VSPEED. Should be a fun one here tonight. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a moment of the action that we have here pretty much every day of the week here on VSPEED, including tonight, after this race, the SNR Challenger and Cup Series races. Make sure to check those out here on VSPEED. VSPEEDSim.com on the World Wide Web. Now let's talk about the racetrack that is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, perfectly rectangular. Turns 1 and 3, turns 2 and 4 are identical. Here at this 2.5 mile racetrack, 9-degree banking on in the corners, 0 on the front and back stretch, and not a bump to be seen on this facility. It's going to be a fun one of the oldest operating racetracks in the world, and in North America included. We're about 5 seconds away from meeting your gladiators here tonight. Let's get down trackside and find out who they are. Starting on the pole here this evening, that is going to be Tyus Hermes in the 56. Adam Holston's going to start alongside him. Third position, Brad Nelson in the 33. Steve Tucker will roll off in the 4th spot. Fifth position belongs to Gavin Hinson as they take the green flag. Sean Langton will start in 6th. 7th spot, Garrett Helmwinger in the 6 machine. Javier Zapata will start in 8th. Rounding out your top 10 will be Darrell Young in the 22 and Kyle Stewart in the 41. 11th will be John Ullman in the 34. Alan Stauffer, in 12th in the 19 machine. 13th belongs to Michael Wingo in the 25. Kyle Holden starts in the 14th spot. 15th will be Chase Rockford in the 05, just north of 40 seconds flat on his lap. Starting 16th will be Scott Miller in the 17th. 17th here tonight, Gavin Saclese in the 95. Stephen Gibson in the 97 starts 18th. 20th is rounded out by Peter Matson in the 173. Jake Mackey starts 20th. Rounding out your grid here, Christian Blackwell. Caleb Hunt is race control and the host of this section here tonight. The brains behind the operation. Should be a fun one here this evening. And that is going to be your grid here for the Indy 250. Let's get trackside here and look at these drivers on the grid. There we are from one of our TV cameras, waiting on a driver, I believe, there we go, to hit the grid. Should be able to roll off here in just a moment. But while we wait, let's have a look at our race analysis. Seems like a pretty good time. 100 laps is the length of this race. Pit road speed will be 60 miles an hour with 6 tire sets available. We're going to get to the kicker here in just a second. 0 green, white checkers, as is customary in Indy style racing. Half fuel tonight, so 14 to 17 laps on a tank. That means you're going to use every one of those 6 tire sets. Every time you need to pit, 4 fresh tires and fill up with fuel, and you might make it to the end. It's probably going to be a fuel mileage race, and it should be a fun one. Fixed setup here that iRacing provides all these drivers, and this is going to be a fun one. I am absolutely sure of it. If it's anything like the VSPEED Indy 250 that we saw last week, if you had a chance to watch that one, you know exactly what we're to expect here. That was a wild finish. Sean Langton, part of that finish here, trying to double up and get the win here. So wasn't able to do so in the Indy 250. The rest of the drivers, maybe if they haven't expected it, you're going to learn a lot here over these 100 laps. And if you haven't, as a spectator, had a chance to see the Indy 250 that VSPEED presented last Friday, make sure after this broadcast to go check that one out. It was a fun one. Great racing all the way throughout the field. We're about 1.25 miles away from getting this spectacle underway. Looking forward to it. Been looking forward to this one for a while. Pace truck should be making that sharp left-hand turn into pit lane here in just a second. Barney's got the green flag in his hand. Pace truck diving down to pit road. And the Indy 250 is underway. And I mentioned him at the top of the show. How about Sean Langton? He passed 5 cars on lap number 1 to lead lap number 1 from the 6th starting position. Talk about a driver who's hungry to go get that win. That's your guy right there. Brad Nelson followed him through, gained 1 spot, and they have broken away by a couple tenths over the rest of the field here. And look at everyone spread out, not quite determined who's going to run where just yet. Clear for the lead is Langton. As Nelson's going to make a move. There it is. He's got the bottom here. Into the corner. He will take the lead away from Langton. We're going to see that a lot today. Drivers swapping the lead back and forth. The draft is so intense in these cars. It's easy to pull up on the back of somebody, just like this, just like Langton's doing here. Get to the bottom and dive to the inside. We could very well see 2 lead changes per lap, every lap here, for the entirety of this event. So we're still battling here at the start-finish line at the Yard of Bricks. I think Nelson got him. You look at the sheer speed of... Oh, Langton's in the fence. Another driver back there's in the wall. I think that was Helmlinger. I think Darryl Young, actually, I think, caught the wall. Off the corner. One driver already off the pace. That is Michael Wingo. He hit something rather hard here. Let's see if we can figure out what it was. Not going to be able to find that replay, unfortunately. We will figure something out as we're 3 wide up here. Almost 3 wide for the lead. And remember, these short fuel runs. Oh, car in the wall, not truck. Car in the wall there. That was Nelson. As Holston's going to try and get around him here. We are battling at the front of this field. But with these short fuel runs, you're going to have to drive for all it's worth. There's not really a big difference between saving a lap or not saving a lap here. You're going to be so much slower. You might as well just go for it at this point. Down the front stretch, still running 2 by 2. Nelson has gotten to the side pod of Langton here. Langton now is going to clear again. Let's go a little further back in the field here. Let's go have a look at the battle for 19th position. Peter Matson and Chase Rockford find themselves bringing up the rear of this field. Although Gavin here is on pit road, Michael Wingo still trying to get that thing repaired. He is now off of the pit lane. There he is. 3 laps down. Gavin here just went 1 lap down in the 95 machine. A little further through the field, great battle here for 8th. Holston has fallen back quite a bit. Remember, he was battling up for 3rd here just a moment ago. Back now to the 8th spot for that peach-colored 14. Gonna lose another one here to Alan Stauffer if he's not careful. As we are still jammed up at the front of this field. Look at this. We're still side by side for the lead. Might go 3 wide if T.S. Hermes decides that that is the apt move to make. As we're about halfway through a fuel run here at Indianapolis. We have some cameras nestled in the crowd. One in the entry of turn number 3. As you look across this immaculate facility. And off of turn 4 down the front stretch. And at the start-finish line, how's that for a photo? Look at that. And Langton got split One high, one low. He's going to fall back to third here. Nelson briefly takes the lead. Hermes has the best position, though, on the bottom. Will we go elevator for Langton? Yes, we will. You can tell how bad guys want to win this race. There is nothing else like it. Caution out on the speedway. I believe it was Christian Blackwell here. Oh, yes, heavy damage on the left front, not even touching the racetrack. What happened here to this machine? Instant replay. Just caught the wall, kicked him sideways, and boom! Let's see if we can maybe get on board here and just see how difficult it is to race at this racetrack. Down the front stretch here, into the corner. Yeah, just got tight. I said it a bunch in the Indy 250. That's one of those accidents that makes you glad you're in a sim and not in a real race car. Because that would have hurt. He's having trouble even getting it into the pit box here. As I expect every driver in the field to hit pit lane here. Get yourself 4 fresh tires. Fill it up with fuel. Try and make it to lap 25 would be the next goal. Let's again remind everyone of our race analysis here. 14 to 17 laps on fuel, depending what fuel map you're in, depending how well you save that fuel. You see a lot of drivers here hitting the pit lane. TS Hermes decides to stay out on the racetrack, but everyone, literally everyone's going to follow him down, or everyone's going to go down, leaving him out on the racetrack, I should say, following Langton. Brad Nelson, Gavin Hinson, and Steve Tucker down the pit lane. Looks like Chase Rockford decided to stay out as well. He'll gain a ton of track position. It is very early in this race as well, so it's not the worst idea to get off strategy, but we've seen it in Indianapolis. We saw it at the VSPEED Indy 250 last week, that there is only one right strategy. There is only one winning strategy. So you better hope that you find yourself on that winning strategy. And maybe, just maybe, those two that stayed out, Hermes and Rockford, will be on that winning strategy, and maybe everybody else will be at their mercy when it comes to the fuel mileage later in the event. Only time will tell, as most drivers have burned that first set. Obviously, 2 drivers, Hermes and Rockford, have not. 1 driver's pit twice, that's Michael Wingo. I don't know if he used a tire set both times. I think he might have. But while we have this break, let's maybe chat with somebody. Let's see if we can have a conversation with, let's talk to Steve Tucker here. We can find him. How about Brad? Let's talk to Brad Nelson. Brad Nelson, Morgan up in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Absolutely. What's up, buddy?
Man, it's been a fun one so far. We're 11 laps in. You've been side by side for, I feel like, 8 of those with the 31 of Langton. Just how much fun is it out here to be able to run that tight with somebody and swap the lead all over this place?
No, it's pretty awesome. I typically race stock cars, but these things are a lot of fun. A lot of fun and real fast right here.
Absolutely. Have you learned all of the intricacies of dialing these things in with your weight jack, with your ARBs, or are you just flying by the seat of your pants here today?
I just rolling with the punches. Now I ain't figured them all out yet because it's a lot of adjustments, but it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, one last question before we go, and you give me a quick shout out of who helped you get here. But what's it going to take to win this race here?
It's going to take surviving for one, and it's going to take the right time and the right pass.
Awesome. Anyone you want to shout out before I put you back up in your chat?
Yeah, Caleb Hunt Racing and Castle Glass Company. Here we go.
Awesome. That is your 4th place runner right now, Brad Nelson. Thanks for your time, buddy.
Appreciate it.
All right. He had a great opening stint, took the tires, took the fuel. He's going to start second of the drivers who have made a pit stop. Will that be the right move? Pace lights are out. Remember, single file restarts here in Indianapolis. I don't know where second place has gone. What happened here? What, did Chase Rockford run out of fuel? I don't know what happened. Hopefully we delayed this green. I don't know what just went on. Yeah, we're not delaying the green. What is happening here? I don't understand what's going on right now. Green flag is out. I think everyone thought it was double file restarts, but these are single file starts, folks. Langton takes the lead on. That's like a balk in baseball. Just not quite understanding what was out in front of him. And Langton's away by 0.6. Brad Nelson squeaks through from 4th to 2nd. And look at the runs he's... Oh, caution's out again here on the racetrack. Holston, I think, is... Yes, Holston's around. It's like minimal damage on that 14 machine. That's good news for him. I don't see any tires pointed the wrong directions. But let's get this thing back sorted out here. Oh, just loose on his own, looks like. Oh, phenomenal job to not wreck that car. Unbelievable work here. This, folks, deserves a blimp shot and then an onboard. So here is the restart. He was well behind the field here. It's into the corner. And just breaks loose on him. And does not hit that inside wall. Got very close to it. Now let's go with the gyro cam here. And this is how you save a race car that's out of control. Did make a little contact with, I think that was the left rear, but very minimal. Should be all right to continue here. It's caught back up to the field. Now those drivers who didn't pit last time, P.S. Hermes, the one I'm keeping my eye on. He's got to hit pit road here. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of other drivers followed him down as well. Oh, he decides to stay on the racetrack. No, he does hit pit road here. I thought that Hinson was the car. I got confused there for a second, but most of the field behind him hits the pit lane as well, trying to just pack that tank full of fuel. We'll see what the race off pit road looks like. So 15 laps into 100 here in Indianapolis. Now let's find, I found Steve Tucker in the chat here. Let's go have a chat here with driver number 1. Steve Tucker, Morgan up in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah.
Things are good. Running P5 right now. Pace light's still on that pace truck, so not going green this time. But started up in 4th, sorry. Fell back 1 spot. How can you describe the racing here today that we've seen so far?
Oh, man, it's pretty intense. I mean, you see a lot of guys trying to get to the front early and a lot of comers and goers. But, I mean, for me, I'm just trying to chill. I mean, it's a long race, and I'm just trying to get to a point where I can be there at the end and just see what happens, you know?
Right on. How are you feeling about strategy right now? You feel you're in the right spot? You feel you're maybe on the wrong strategy? How does driver the 1 feel right now?
It's awkward because the fuel is half, you know, so we can only go about 14 laps on fuel, and then we have to pit. So I expect a lot of pit stops today and a lot of math. So we're gonna have to we're gonna have to figure it out. But kind of race, you know, it's one of those, you know, strategize the race backwards, right? So, you know, how many stops do we need and whatever, and obviously, you know, yellow flags might play a role into that. So we'll see. We're just having fun though, and if we get into the money, then hey, it's all good.
Hey, that's the goal, right? That's why we sign up for it, is for the glory. Well, we got you up here. Anyone you want to thank or shout out to help you get to this position?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Harpoon Design on the card today, looking pretty good. And yeah, go and check them out, harpoondesign.com. Always happy to have them on board and looking good as usual.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time, Steve. We'll put you back into your chat. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is 5th place, Steve Tucker, in the number 1. Back up to the front of the field here. Sean Langton leads. Brad Nelson right behind him. They have been the 2 fastest cars here so far today. Gavin Hinson hanging out in 3rd. Daryl Young is in the 4th spot. Steve Tucker, we just talked to him, he is in 5th. 6th spot, Garrett Helmlinger in the 6th machine. Haven't seen him yet today. Kyle Stewart making his way up through the field. He is in 7th. Javier Zapata is in 8th. John Ullman 9th. Christian Blackwell is in the 10th position. He has made his pit stop also. Christian Blackwell did after he had an issue earlier in the race. Currently 3 drivers off the lead lap. Gavin Scalise, Alan Schaefer, or Stauffer, and Michael Wingo. Back on the front stretch, the pit road side of the front stretch, that is, for this restart. We are green, and Langton is out like a guy shot out of a cannon. Holy cow. The gap is 1.2 into turn number 1. The battle's a little further back here. Daryl Young gets by Hinson. Oh, caution's out again. Oh, it's Hermes. Got off sequence with the hopes of flipping the strategy, and the rear wing is dangling on that machine. Let's see what happened to him. He's already got the wing dangling. Already damage on this car. And it must have just goes around. No rear downforce. Lucky that everyone avoids them. Wow. What caused that rear wing to get dislodged? It's good there. Got hit in the back by somebody. Got hit in the back by the 97. 97 of Stephen Gibson. Hurt the right front of Gibson. And obviously took the wing right off. The car never had a chance of turning. Great job, though, not getting collected with other cars. Although he's going to lose all that track position and that first fast repair that is so important to keep here in Indianapolis. That rear wing is still dangling. He's fine when he's at pace speed, but anytime you step on it, that car just wants to spin all the way around very quickly. You shouldn't lose a lap with the fast repair. Possibly it doesn't need the fast repair. I don't know how quick it is to change that rear wing. But I would also expect to see Gibson, who is missing half of that front nose, down the pit lane as well. That thing will be unbelievably hard to turn. It'll just pretty much just drive straight into the corner as we find ourselves a 5th of the way through this race. Well, we are well behind the field here. Not sure what happened, why we're pacing so far back, but back part of the field decides to hit the pit road. Leaders still on the racetrack. They're rolling turn 2 right now. Still Langton, Nelson, Young, Tucker, and Hinson, your top 5. Helmlinger and Stewart decided not to change positions. Zapata, we saw him earlier, Ullman and Blackwell remain your top 10. Holston up to 11th. Chase Rockford is 12th. Kyle Holden in the 13th spot. T.S. Hermes is 14th. Jake Mackey rounds out your top 15. 4 drivers now off of the lead lap. Gavin, Wingo, Stauffer, and I guess Caleb Hunt has not taken a lap. Oh, he has. He is in this race. I thought he was race control tonight. Well, apologies, Mr. Caleb Hunt, who is owning this race currently. 17 laps down in the pit stall. Pace lights still on here. We can find another driver to have a chat with here in the session. Let's see here. Let's chat with Kyle Holden. Hey Kyle, it's Morgan up in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
What's going on?
Just checking in, seeing how things are going. Running P13 at the moment. I think we just got the one to go here. What's this race been like for you so far?
So far, just trying to save fuel, trying to make sure we get to the end. There's been some definite crazy things going on around us, but we're just trying to keep it together and save a bunch of fuel so we can maybe make it to the end, make it a little bit longer than these guys, and maybe be able to push and get to the lead.
Awesome. Well, Fuel Map 5 going to get a workout here right away, I bet. But anything you want to say here while we got you on the broadcast?
Just huge thanks to SimRat Market, SimHQ, and all that for being on the car. Huge thanks for Caleb for throwing this up, and thank you guys for doing the broadcast.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Kyle. Good luck. Put you back in race chat, too. That's your 13th place driver, Kyle Holden. As we are about to take the green flag here, quick recap for you. This is our third caution, 4 lead changes amongst a few different drivers. Currently 104 on the track temp here today. 76 ambient. Let's see if we can get a bit of a closer start here than last time. Oh, we're almost wrecking in the back. Hinson did not go. Out again to a big lead is Langton. A few drivers really struggled to get going there. I think Helmlinger's one who dove all the way down to the inside. Was able to keep from making any contact as we cautions out here. Peter Matson potentially. Oh, so 95 again. What happened to Gavin? Got Olsen right behind him. Maybe a little tight out of the corner. Oh, that was an interesting accident. I mean, clearly some contact, but I think it was netcode. I don't think he actually touched him. Let's go back and see here. I don't know how he didn't get a black flag also. That was a super illegal start. Can't pass on the bottom. Here comes the 14 of Holston. Oh, he did get him. It's strange how that car spun. Heavy damage, though, for the 95. Ran the first 10 laps green. Since then, we've had 4 cautions. The last 10. Having trouble getting these things going. We're about to be a quarter of the way through this race, which is going to make the fuel mileage even a little more strange. Let's chat to a driver who's been steadily moving up through the field. That would be Daryl Young in the 22 machine. Daryl, Morgan up in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
My goodness, up 7 positions. You are the second biggest mover in this race. And you're just slowly picking them off here, one by one by one. What's it going to take to get that final one go past Sean Langton?
I'm honestly not even trying. I'm just running the track, and if it happens, it happens. Passing somebody. With all these cautions, I really just don't want to be in the back. I feel like just being up here, avoiding wrecks, that's great. Running P2, P1, P3, that's fine. So I'm just hanging out.
I like a nice principled approach to a race here. No need to lead every lap when you can just ride in second until the end. And what's it going to take, you think, to get to the end? How important has fuel, how important have tires been so far in this race?
I didn't take tires at all so far. That first stop I made for gas, I didn't take tires. My car's fine. Tires are fine. As far as winning, just gotta have good pit stops. Especially if we get any green flag pit stops, just gotta be careful and stay out of trouble and be there at the end. That's all that matters.
Awesome. Well, I got you up here. Anyone you want to give thanks to, shout out to help you get this position?
Just shout out to Brantley at Harpoon Design.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that's Daryl Young running P2 in the 22. Right now, up 7. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right. We are really getting our quota in for interviews today. We've had 4 conversations with drivers to this point. Pace light's still on the pace truck. We're going to step away here for a moment, take a quick commercial break. You've been watching Caleb Hunt's Indianapolis 250. Be back right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here on VSPEED for Caleb Hunt's Indy 250 special event. Pace light's out on the pace truck here. If you're just joining us, so we're working our 4th caution. We've had 4 lead changes today. Whoever who's led the most laps has been your leader right now, John Langton. Went green for the first 10. They've had a flurry of yellows here since then. Barnes with the green flag in his hand. We're about to get racing one more time here. Everyone looks like they get away clean this time. Much closer restart as well. Daryl Young only about a quarter second back of Langton. Top 4 are broken away from Gavin Hinson as we got a little bit of extracurricular back in the field. Watching Adam Holston here in the 10th spot. Daryl Young goes to take the lead. I'm not trying. Yeah, sure. He goes out here, takes the run, goes to the bottom. Langton going to try and do the same thing to him off of turn number 4. All the way down to the bottom. Langton's going to do a little how do you do here. Young to the bottom. Langton to the top. Oh, almost 3 wide. It is going to be 3 wide. Nelson went way high. He's going to completely miss the corner here. Had to bail out of the gas. Going to fall back to 5th. Now 6th as Helllinger is going to get by him. Nelson's still out of the groove. Kyle Stewart's going to get around him. You can see the marbles on the tires. File that one away for later. You know, you can't go that high in any of these corners. You pick up those shreds of rubber and it will not turn. Great job to not wreck the car though. A little bit behind them. John Ullman, Kyle Holden having a bit of a battle here. Well, coming down pit road is John Ullman. Maybe some damage on that machine. Oh, he hasn't hit pit road yet. Maybe didn't realize he only had so far on fuel. Adam Holston has crashed the race car again. This time, the damage is heavy. No caution. Let's go back and see what happened to him. This Peach 14 machine. Oh, heavy contact with the outside wall. It's almost like his screen locked up. Which is an issue I believe he has had in the past. Battle for the lead still ongoing. Stephen Gibson has crashed as well. Caution's out. Now, what caused 97 to go around? A little three-wide battle here. Stephen Gibson trying to go right up the middle. Was able to make a move and then just didn't quite give enough room to the guy on the inside. Around he goes. I don't think the damage is all that bad. He has not used... Oh, he does have a meatball, in fact, so definitely some heavy damage somewhere. Peter Matson with damage as well. He was the driver who got driven across. And Adam Holston, obviously, we saw him. This is a big break for him. He's still trying to get to pit road. He's still trying to get to pit road. Adam Holston is doing a whale of a job driving this car right now with 3 wheels, dog tracking and all. See if he brings it down pit road this time. Maybe yes, maybe no. No. I don't know why you wouldn't bring it down pit road there, but who knows? We have well exceeded what we thought we could go on fuel here. Most drivers on 18 laps on fuel. Langton, Young, Tucker, Helmwinger, Hinson, Stewart, Zapata, Blackwell, Nelson, and Hermes. Not Hermes, just your top 9. Now they're all going to hit pit road here. Really made that fuel run stretch with all the cautions. But now it's time. Bring it down the pit lane. Who will win this race off of the pit lane? So everyone's clean into the box so far. Bit of a slow entry there for Hinson. Oh, Nelson missed pit entry. Oh, he missed it by... He's going to lose a lot of time here. Steve Tucker first in, first out. No tires on the 1. Looks like Langton took 4, as did everyone else up here. And for Holden as well, did not take tires, it looks like. But while we got a moment, let's chat with driver number 6. That would be Garrett Hellman. Hey Garrett, Morgan at the VSPEED booth, you got a copy?
What's going on?
Well, it has been an interesting race. Had a great green flag run to start, a little bit herky-jerky here the last 20 laps or so. How's it been for you?
It's been a lot of pacing. I had a little code brown there on one of the restarts.
That we saw.
Me and Kyle both. It's I don't really know how the car is going to feel in the long run right now. It's starting to get really pushy at the end of the runs. Started to feel it a lot there. You can tell a lot of people are overdriving it. Yeah, I wish I could tell you more. It's fast on the short run. Unknown on the long run. We're gonna find out, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, the good news is your long run's only going to be 14 or so laps. So I mean, that's the good news, is that you pretty much did that in stage number 1 here, that first stint. But
it's gonna be a bunch of sprint racing. But
yeah,
we're in a good position right here. Me, Sean, and Kyle. We're gonna, if we can manipulate the front the best we can, I think we'll be stay up here. We'll be pretty good for the finish.
Awesome. Well, while we got you, anyone you want to thank or shout out to get you to this position up here, 4th currently running in this race?
Yeah. I'd like to thank Sean and Kyle and you and VSPEED and Cooper Flag and everybody involved.
It's not done deal yet. That pick will still get traded. It's not done deal yet. Awesome. Anyway, thanks for your time, Garrett. I don't think he liked that. I don't think he likes that pick and still get traded. Obviously talking with the Dallas Mavericks, who won the draft lottery somewhat controversially in the last couple weeks. Cooper Flag being the #1 prospect, touted to go first overall in the draft this year. Conversation for another day. Right now, it's for this Indy 250. 31 laps in. Steve Tucker leads. Langton, Young, Helmlinger, Holden, Stewart, Hinson, Zapata, Matson, and Hermes are your top 10. This truck should pull off in just a second. There it goes. The field is in the hands of Steve Tucker. There's the launch. Oh, we're wrecking in the back. There's a truck. Oh, there's a car on its roof. Over and over he goes. Is that Michael Wingo? No. I don't know who that was, but that was quite a ride. John Ullman? I think it was John Ullman who went up and over and tumbling. It absolutely was. Yeah, big checkup. Mistimed the launch. The car went for a ride. We saw it happen a little bit up further, maybe around Brad Nelson. Let's check out Jake Mackey on the restart here. This is on the restart. Oh, it was behind him. I think it was Brad Nelson, just mistimed the start a little bit here. Check it out one more time. See the gap in front of him, and the red car really launches and then doesn't really go. This, yeah, just a checkup, just a tough situation. The driver got the worst of that was absolutely this guy right here. Let's ride on board for this entire accident. That's one of those, oh no, sort of accidents. You just can't really, not much you can do about it there, but tough break for John Ullman. Going to find himself probably a couple laps. He's already 3 down, trying to get this thing repaired. There he is still on pit road. A little race recap for you here, a little housekeeping, if you will. We've got 17 on the lead lap, back to Brad Nelson, who has to get some damage repaired, leaving pit road now. John Ullman, Michael Wingo, both 3 laps down. The first 2 drivers not on the lead lap. 14 laps down is Gavin Scalese. He has been on pit road for about the last 15 minutes. Alan Stauffer has been on pit road. He's left the session, in fact, for the last 20 laps. Caleb Hunt still hanging out on pit road. He is currently 32 laps down in the 22nd position. Well, let's not let the interview stop there. Let's go chat with 5th place Kyle Stewart. See what old Kyle's got going on for us. Kyle Stewart, Morgan up in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Morgan.
Goodness gracious, man. It's been a wild one so far. You're up 5 spots from 10th to 5th. What's it going to take to get 5 more?
Just bide my time, see what happens, fuel save a little bit here and there, and see what happens ahead of us and behind us.
Awesome. Anything you want to say before we go back racing here?
Just shout out you guys up here at VSPEED for putting on good broadcast all the time, and the Orange Speed team.
Awesome. Well, good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it.
That's 5th place Kyle Stewart as we are now going green. Check him out. He's streaming this race right now. Check him out on twitch.tv/KS Racing. Green flag's out. Tucker gets away. 3 wide in the back. There it is. Battle back here. But Langton takes the lead away. Power move down to the bottom. The Harpoon Designs guys. Young and Tucker trying to make some hay. Right behind them, Helmlinger. Golden tough. The top 4 broken away. Kyle Stewart in the 5th position. Behind him, Gavin Hinson in 6th. Oh, how about that synchronized move? Perfect. Helmlinger up to third. For the moment, get momentum back to the top side. Riding on board at 220 miles an hour as we sail it off into turn number 3. We caught the apron there a little bit. Got a teammate behind him though, so he shouldn't be hung out to dry. So you start seeing the dragon's tail here. Langton protects bottom. Oh, he's gonna get split 3 wide. Darryl Young wisely backs out of it, not to force the issue here, as we still are only 37 laps into a 100-lap race. Down into turn number 3. Gonna choose to drag brake is Steve Tucker. Not gonna make the move until the front stretch. Let's go a little further back in the field. Side-by-side battle here. Rockford and Holden. Oh, crash! Caution on the speedway. There it is. Christian Blackwell. American Legion are in trouble here. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to this machine. Oh, catches the fence. I think that happened to him once before in this race. Definitely seen that from somebody today. But that will be his second accident because he's already used the fast repair, so that is probably going to be day over for Christian Blackwell. We're going to take a quick commercial break here. A shout out to our race sponsor, Drive for Humanity. Drive for Humanity is a 501c3 based out of Indianapolis and ran by Arkham Nar Series driver Brayton Laster. Their goal is to raise awareness and help those in need, from the unhoused, those who are unable to put food on the table, or just those going through rough times. In 2025, Brayton's donating canned goods, non-perishables, clothing, at local shelters or food banks near every racetrack he visits on the Arkham Nar Series schedule. Donate for as low as $5 today. Get your name on his ARCA car and help make a difference. Check him out at driveforhumanity.org. Be back right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here, high above the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Caleb Hunt's Indy 250. One of the greatest spectacles in motorsports. A little twist, a little halfway distance race here. 41 laps into 100 in this event. Race recap, 7 cautions, 9 lead changes. A little look at the weather as well since we're here. Track temp going up significantly at 9 degrees since last time we checked. That was only about 20 laps ago. Air temp has gone up as well. This car is only going to get harder and harder to drive, and it's going to turn less and less. It'll be difficult to keep this thing pointed in the right direction and not knock down those walls that we've seen drivers hit off of turn 2 and turn 4. Daryl Young, currently your leader. He has led a total of 4 laps. I believe the most laps led today. Sean Langton with 22, just over half of them. Steve Tucker has led a few as well, 5. So we're going to go back racing here as soon as we get out of turn number 4. Drivers go way to the high side in Indy cars with these single file restarts because you cannot pass on the inside of somebody. You have to pass on the outside. So if you're up against the wall, there is no opportunity for somebody to pass you. We just see a lot of drivers get marbles on their tires. That'll be interesting down in turn number 1, but we are away. Already trying to break the draft. Daryl Young gets away by 3/10 over Langton and Tucker. A little further back. Caius Hermes in 8th. We're riding on board with. Remember, this driver had an accident earlier in the day. Tucker and Helmlinger scrapping. Helmlinger able to hang on to 3rd. As Daryl Young is going after Sean Langton. They're still going at it. These two drivers have been inseparable for most of the day. It's been Langton and somebody else battling for the lead pretty much this entire opening 40-odd laps. First it was Brad Nelson until an accident. And it was Daryl Young, Steve Tucker, Caius Hermes. 13 laps on this stint, so I expect to see drivers down pit road here in the next 5 laps or so. Only driver, a couple drivers well off sequence, Stephen Gibson, back in 11th. He's got about 10 laps less fuel on his tires, 10 laps more in the tank, as well as Kyle Holden, Jake Mackey, and Scott Millard on that same strategy. Those drivers all on the lead lap. Closest battle on the racetrack is the one for the lead right here. Another dive to the bottom. Let's see what Helmlinger sees. Have a great run here. What's he gonna do with it? Do you go to the top here? Elevator move? Oh, Langton put him in the fence. Langton blocked him at the last second. Helmlinger had nowhere to go but into the wall, and he did. Might be a little tight now. We'll see how it affects him, as he's got Steve Tucker all over the back bumper, and Kyle Stewart is closing in as well in that orange number 41. Kyle Stewart trying to get aggressive here on Steve Tucker. Drag race down the front stretch, give it to Tucker. Oh, back here. into turn number 1. Hinson closing in as well. In the 39, Hinson just about caught the wall. Great job keeping it off the outside. Safer barrier. I think Stewart got tight there a little bit at the lift. Gonna bring a whole bunch of cars right to him here. Is there wheel to wheel? Hinson not giving him any space. Hinson is inside the right rear. Oh my goodness. I thought for sure those cars were going around. Just back up front. Garrett Helmlinger is caught up again. He's to the bottom now. Will Helmlinger take the lead? He said he wanted to try and work with his teammates. Sean Langton's one, Kyle Stewart's the other. And try and control the race. Caution is out. It's Brad Nelson hard into the outside wall. No turn left in that car. What caused the 33? A beautiful paint scheme. Have an issue here. Just tight on his own, it looks like. And you've seen that accident happen a number of times. Oh, he caught somebody else too. Who was that? Is that Michael Wingo? No. Kyle Holden? It was Kyle Holden, who was just trying to stay out of the way, caught up in something that's not his fault at all. But that's really been the trouble spot all day, is that short shoot out of turn number 1. That's where most drivers have caught the outside wall. It has definitely caused some issues here. Let's see if we can grab another driver to chat with here. And let's make it Stefan Gibson. So we're going to have a chat with. Stefan Gibson, Morgan up in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got it. I got you, bud.
All right, 2:10 right now. It's been a wild race for you. You've already got some damage on that machine. Spun out once, I believe. Used the fast repair. We're not even halfway yet. What's it going to take for you to survive the rest of the way?
I mean, at this point, I think it's just being patient. You know, I kind of took my moment right there whenever I thought I could, and it didn't really work out there. So hopefully we can just right around here avoid some cautions, and maybe a fuel strategy will play into our hand. I mean, I know we can get into a fist fight with them up front, but I just want to be safe getting up there, considering I don't have fast repair no more.
Right, so I'll let you make your pit stop here, but once you finish the stop, I'll ask you another question here. We'll get there in just a sec. Perfectly in the pit box. Well done, sir. And we're away as you cross over the yard of bricks. So my question for you is, we're halfway in the race. Is the fuel strategy any clearer now than it was, say, at the start of the race, knowing that you can only make it about 14, 15, 16 laps on the tank?
Not really. I mean, yeah, considering you can only make it so far, I mean, yeah, maybe we can get an extra few laps in with the mapping, but it doesn't really seem to kind of play into your hand, considering we're having so many cautions here. And if you kind of, like I've just noticed, I've been taking fuel, but I'm kind of getting back behind the cars that have damage, and it's costing me a lot of time fighting with people. So it's just kind of better now to just manage where you are position-wise. Maybe I'll pit, you know, we'll have to pit at least, what, 4 more times? So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, something like that. But thank you for your time, and we'll catch you later. Anything you want to say before I drop you back in your race chat?
Nope, just thank you for doing the broadcast, and hopefully we have a good, clean race from here on out.
I echo that for sure. Good luck the rest of the way here, Stefan.
Yep, thank you.
That was race chat 2, correct?
Yes.
All right, that is 10th place driver, Stefan Gibson. Now, one development that we had under caution that we didn't get a chance to see, Sean Langton is now cycled all the way to the back of the field. I don't know if that was a penalty. He had a very long stop, an extra 30 seconds in the box. Oh, it would have been a hold because it was 40 seconds longer. So I think he either sped on, he must have sped onto pit road here. And that is going to be a tough break for the 31, who has been the dominant car all day. The good news, it's only halfway. The better news, he's only 13th in the field as the top 13 on the lead lap. Kyle Holden in 14th. Brad Nelson in 15th, both 1 down. John Ullman in 16th is 2 down. Michael Wingo in 17th. Adam Holston in 18th are 3 down. Christian Blackwell still on pit road is 12 down. Everyone else is out of the race. Well, if you like what you've seen so far, now would be a great time to like and subscribe to the channel. Check us out on the World Wide Web, vspeedsim.com for your VSpeed merchandise. Check us out on X at vspeedsim for some clips of some of our races. Check out our YouTube shorts as well. We got some fun ones in there. We appreciate all the fans who make us able to do what we do. Without you guys, without the drivers, the fans, the sponsors, there's no reason for us to do this. So we thank all 1,910 of you who have subscribed, and we hope that number continues to grow here in the future as we continue to bring you racing action you can't find anywhere else here on VSpeed. The field back in the hands of Daryl Young, Garrett Helmlinger. Let's get it wound up. We're green again in Indianapolis. Well, I want to ride on board here with Sean Langton. We're going to see most of the field here. And watch how an excellent driver gets through traffic in Indianapolis. Already past 2. Past 3 now. As Helmlinger battles with Daryl Young for the lead. Helmlinger is going to take it for a moment off of 4. Drag race down the front. At the line. Helmlinger got him. Much like one of his favorite drivers, Sam Hornish Jr. did in a previous Indy 500. Got him at the start-finish line by half a car length. Helmlinger snakes down the front stretch, or the back stretch here. Daryl Young now has taken the lead back. Caution's out on the speedway. Looks like Scott Millard. Yes, Scott Millard, as well as Michael Wingo involved. Brad Nelson might have got a piece of this as well. Let's go check it out. We're spinning here on the racetrack. Since they're already wrecking in front of him. Oh my goodness. Michael Wingo, are you okay? Yeah, we're going to have to see what happened to this machine. Wow. I didn't expect that at all. It looks like Brad Nelson did get a piece of this. Yeah, there's Nelson right there, that black car on the high side. Oh, tight out of the corner. They got sandwiched in the fence, and oh, they started flying. Oh my goodness, what on earth? What just happened? Brad Nelson, are you okay? Let's ride on the gyro. It's unbelievable how high this car got off the ground. But at that point, I mean, you're flying through the air. Oh man, not trying to get it turned over on its side. Unbelievable. What a crash. And somehow the damage is not all that bad. Obviously that left front's in trouble, but definitely could be worse here. Or the 33. I'm not sure if he's used his fast repair already. It looks like he has, although he is still towing. So we're going to check on him back here in a couple minutes as we try and find maybe another driver to have a quick chat with. Let's see, who do we got here left in the Discord to talk with? Maybe chat with the Kyle Larson inspired scheme of John Ullman. We'll wait till he gets out of the pit box. Bring him into our broadcast booth. John Ullman, Morgan up at the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, it has not been the best day for you so far, running P15, 2 laps down, but still not out of this thing by any stretch. The car's in one piece. How do you figure you can get back into this race?
Hope and a prayer. This is my literally first race in these Indy cars, and it is wild compared to our stock cars. So it's a good time, but man, it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, 220 miles an hour is something you don't really expect until you dive down to turn number 1 with dirty air and it won't turn and all that fun stuff. But how have you found this car to drive, being it's your first time in it?
It is a ton of fun. We had a couple good guys in the chat that are helping teaching us some of like the weight jackers and everything, so we're decent. But yeah, these things are a ton of fun. I would love to race them more in the future.
Well, maybe you can chat with Mr. Mystic over there, and he can fire up an IndyCar league for you. But
Heck yeah.
it's been fun to watch you guys so far in this race as we're coming to 1 to green here. Any parting wisdom you have for the broadcast here? What we got you?
Just send some good thoughts our ways. I think we all need it, and I appreciate you guys broadcasting. You guys are awesome.
You bet. Anyone you want to shout out while we got you?
Always VSPEED. Always VSPEED. You guys do a wonderful job.
Always VSPEED. That is exactly what I like to hear. All right. Thanks for your time, John.
Thank you.
That is P15, John Ullman. See him, the Mystic 9222 Designs Truck Series. On Wednesday or Thursday or Friday at 9 or 9:15 or 9:30, depending on the week, depending on the vibes. It's a joke in there somewhere. But anyway, Daryl Young, your leader. Garrett Helmlinger riding in P2. Steve Tucker is third. Kyle Stewart up in fourth. Javier Zapata is in the 5th position. One driver we have not yet talked to today. Up 3 spots from where he started in 8th. Caius Hermes in 6th, making the charge back. He started on the pole here today. Led some laps early. He's fallen back here recently. Peter Matson is 7th. Stephen Gibson, we talked to earlier, is 8th. Sean Langton is 9th. We'll chat with him in a bit. Chase Rockford rounds out your top 10. Let's get this thing going again here. Our 9th caution of the day. Our 10th start of the day. 55 laps into 100. All the way down to the bottom. Goes your leader. Little top to bottom move. There's Steve Tucker behind him. As Langton's already on the charge here. This is the battle for 7th. Everyone single files out. Gavin Hinson makes a big move. Gonna get around Chase Rockford. But also move Helmlinger back up to the lead for a moment. Squeaking by on the bottom. Should be able to clear. Not quite clear. That Harpoon Racing Design, or Harpoon Designs Racing machine. And here comes Kyle Stewart out of nowhere. Stuck on his outside. Stewart up to 3rd for the first time today. Oh, car on the outside wall. Daryl Young got a little high off the corner. He's going to lose 2nd. And move the 22 back to 6th position. Oh, somebody spun. It was Steven Tucker. Steven Tucker is around from 2nd. Kyle Stewart has crashed as well. What happened? Let's go back to Steven Tucker here and see what caused the number 1 to go around. The 1 and 41 side by side here. Oh, Stewart tight off the corner, neck coated into him, and then hit him again. Also, I think, might have caught Daryl Young. As this car seems to be okay, but let's check it out from the gearbox, as he had quite a view of this. Remember, he hit the wall here, so he got put in this position. It's coming. Just wait for it, folks. Right there. This is a jumping Kyle Stewart. Just barely. I think he missed making contact with the back of Darrell Young, but it was close. I think now be a good chance. Let's hit pit road here. Maybe have a chat with Sean Langton. Looks like he's going to stay out. A lot of drivers hitting pit road. Split decision. One of the first times today we have a big split decision here on the strategy. Let's bring Sean Langton up here in the booth. Hey, Sean, Morgan up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Morgan.
All right. Well, you led a good chunk of this race early, 20-some laps. What happened on that pit stop that saw you fall through the field?
Nature.
Ah, nature. Okay. I thought you got a speeding penalty because it was like 40 seconds exactly, but you were longer in the pit box than everyone else. So.
Yeah, a little too much coffee.
I hear you. Well, you're an efficient man, I guess is what we can say. Up to P3 here, started 6, you passed 5 cars on the opening lap. Clearly you are pretty good at the IndyCar. I mean, I know that. The viewers now know it as well. What's it going to take for you to go out here and win this race and try and make up for the Indy 250 that happened from VSPEED here a few weeks ago?
Just knowing when to make that last pit stop, since we can't seem to get a green flag run in here more than a few laps. It's going to be about who can get to that last window and make it, and then just hold the race position while we all wreck and right under yellow.
All right. Well, that is certainly one of the strategies. This is the first time we've had a split decision all day on pit road here, so good luck navigating this.
Thank you.
All right, anyone you want to shout out here before we go back racing?
Just all the usuals, teammates, family, you guys. Appreciate it.
Right on. That's Sean Langton running P3 right now. All right. Thought we were going green there. We were not. Rushed that one just a little bit, but that's okay. I don't think he minds. Let's have a quick run through your field here while we got a second. Garrett Helmlinger is your leader at the moment. Up 6 positions. Javier Zapata stayed out. He is currently in second. So did John Langton, who is in third. Gavin Hinson is fourth. Chase Rockford finds himself plus 10 in the 5th position. Stephen Gibson's up 12 in 6th. Peter Matson up 12 to 7th. And Jake Mackey also up 12 to 8th. E.S. Hermes is down 8 to 9th. Scott Millard up 6 positions. He rides in the 10th spot. We just saw him do an excellent job of avoiding an accident earlier where he stopped on the access road. Darrell Young after wall contact. He's back to 11th. Kyle Holden in the 12th position. There's Kyle Holden. Kyle Stewart is 13th after that accident with Steve Tucker. John Ullman is 2 down. He is 15th, I should mention. Holden, Stewart, and Tucker all 1 lap down. Adam Holston is 6 down. Brad Nelson, 8 down. Michael Wingo down 11. Christian Blackwell down 22. Gavin, Alan Stauffer, they are out of the race. So is Caleb Hunt. They have elected to retire from the event, although Caleb Hunt is race controlling this one this evening, which is probably why he only ran about 10 laps until that first caution happened. Up here from Barney's Perch, we're going to see pace truck peel off here, put the field back in the hands of Garrett Helmlinger. Javier Zapata right behind him. Green flag is out again. We're racing here in Indianapolis. Not a great launch for the 15. Sean Langton's going to be all over the outside of him here. Crossed over. Can't quite get the momentum. Gavin Hinson has been poking around the top 5 all day. Can he find anything? Is Langton with a power move around the outside? Off of turn number 4. Top 4 broken away. Chase Rockford. lap car in between them as well. Could just hear the cars wind up. There they are. Ready for this one, folks. One of my favorite views. Right down the yard of bricks, looking at the pagoda. Is on that lap, Langton and Helmlinger were side by side across the line. Helmlinger takes the lead out of turn number 2. Able to defend well against a hard-charging 31 machine. As we're under 40 laps to go, apologies. We're getting very close to the window for a 2-stopper. These drivers who didn't pit, they might be in a bit of trouble here. I'm talking Helmlinger, Langton, Zapata, Hinson, and Rockford. Your top 5. 14 laps on the stint. I think they can only go probably another 4 to 5 laps here. In fact, Peter Madsen has gotten around your 5th place driver. Make the leader on the other strategy the 5th place car here. This is where you're not really sure what to expect. We heard earlier in an interview how you figure out strategies. You work it from the back of the race, in this case lap 100, and you count by 14 down from that number. So you go to 86, you go to 72, etc., etc. Where does that put us in the window? I think the drivers who pit just a few laps to go have found themselves in the right spot. I'd be worried if I was Helmlinger, Langton, Zapata, and Hinson, as well as Rockford and Kyle Holden, if you can make it on 2 more stops or not. You might have to 3-stop it from here. Regardless, the battle still fierce up front. About half a second slower than their fast laps of the day as they're side by side here. Javier Zapata hanging out in 3rd. Gavin Hinson keeping him honest here in 4th as Peter Madsen is well behind them, about 2.5 seconds back of those drivers. That car in front of him is a lap down, remember. Stefan Gibson losing a spot here. P.S. Hermes gets around him. That orange number 41 is a lap down. Trying to become the first driver a lap down, Kyle Holden currently holds that position, and he is 4 cars up the road here, right in front of Peter Madsen. Race within the race. That's what we talk about all the time here on VSPEED, and that's what we're talking about right here, as we are now officially 2/3 of the way through this event. Battle for the lead. Still, these 3 cars have starting to break away from Hinson ever so slightly. He's back in 7th, Jake Mackey trying to hold on. It's Helmlinger maybe hitting pit road here. Yes, he will. The 6th machine after leading all those laps on the pit lane. Can he make it to the end with 1 or 2 more stops from here? Or is he going to have to pit an extra time versus the field? Our first green flag pit stop of the day from the leader. Now, what does that mean for Langton, Zapata, and Hinson? When do they hit pit road? When does Chase Rockford hit pit road? From up in the grandstands in turn 4, it looks like Zapata's going to hit pit road this time. Langton and Hinson stay out another lap. How well can you save fuel? Right now, it looks like quite well. for the 31. Spotted now leaving the pit box. He's going to fall. Oh, he's just entering the pit box. Apologies. Should be falling back here to probably the 10th spot. Helmlinger back out on the racetrack. Should be able to take that spot back rather easily. See what kind of lap time the 6 can put down next time by. See if those new tires are worth the trip to pit road. In fact, I don't think he took tires at all on that stop. As Matson hits pit road, means Langton and Hinson have... Sorry, Matson to the lead. Langton, Hinson on pit road here. There they are. There's the 31 in the box. The 39 right behind him. Holden also hits the pit lane, meaning you're going to give the lucky dog spot, if you will, the first driver a lap down, to Kyle Stewart. No lucky dogs in this race, but still puts you in a good position to get your lap back if you're able to hang on to the strategy just right. So I mentioned you got to make it to about 72. I think Peter Matson can make it there. He's 12 on this run. Should be able to go another 2 to 3 laps here. And if that's the case, that puts him in the catbird seat, so to speak, to potentially get this Indy 250 if we stay green and he makes those perfect pit stops. Dias Hermes is stalking him just over a second back, and then it's another 2.5 back to Jake Mackey, who cannot get around this Kyle Stewart machine. Stephen Gibson, apologies. Another 1.2 back of him. Then 0.6 back to Darrell Young. And a long ways back to Scott Millard. About 10 seconds. Looks like Rockford's on pit road. Yes, he is. First driver on the other sequence here is Garrett Helmlinger in 7th. 3 laps he has run. He can for sure make it to 72. He's on 72 right now. The question is, how does this end up affecting him later? Because now he's going to be 3 short. It's going to be interesting to see here how this works out for Helmlinger, Langton, Zapata, and Hinson. They're kind of on their own little island right now. Closest battle on the racetrack for position is this one right here. Tucker and Kyle Stewart, the 2 drivers who crashed together earlier. With a driver in the middle of them, that would be Jake Mackey, your 3rd place machine. Mackey's loving this, saving a lot of fuel right here. Gonna help him get to the end of this race here. One driver hitting the pit lane. That looks like Darrell Young. Gonna bring it down here. John Ullman on pit road as well, just now left the pit box. I told you we'd have green flag stops in this race. Let's ride on board here for a little while. Dias Hermes as he stalks the leader. Stalks him down pit road. Pit limiter engaged. Jake Mackey takes the lead. Stephen Gibson to 2nd. Now into the pit box. All the way down to pit stall number 1. This pit exit is one of the most difficult in an Indy car. The access road is narrow and you're going so fast through the gears. Make it look pretty easy here as he's going to take the spot away from Peter Matson. Better into the pit box. Down pit road. The lead has flopped for drivers on that strategy. Stephen Gibson has passed Jake Mackey, who's now on pit road. Gibson trying to stretch this out longer than anyone's run all day today with these kind of conditions. He'll be 18 laps when he crosses the line next time by. Let's see if he hits pit road here or not. Top 9 on the lead lap, waiting for this 97 to hit the pit lane. That'll cycle the lead back to Garrett Helmlinger and Sean Langton. There he is, hitting the pit road right here. There's Helmlinger down the backstretch, trying to avoid giving Sean Langton the draft. As Gavin Hinson has fallen back by 2.5 seconds, and Javier Zapata fallen back by another 0.3. So it's really just a 2-car battle on this strategy, so long as we stay green. Under 25 laps to go. Stephen Gibson going to fall back a few. He's just now leaving pit road. Or will he cycle out? I'm thinking right around this 7th, 8th, 9th position here. Chase Rockford is now the first driver to lap down after his strategy. 5 laps on the run. So the biggest difference here in terms of laps on their stuff, Helmlinger 9 laps on his stuff right now versus Stephen Gibson, who just hit the pit lane. Really, it's about 7 laps between the leader on both strategies. With just over 20 laps remaining. A good battle here with Hinson, Zapata. Yes, Hermes is caught up to this group, and that spells very bad news for them because he has more fuel, can probably make it here on just one more stop to the end of the race. Peter Madsen is right there. He's closed up on the back of the 56 machine. And Langton gets around Helmlinger. Maybe they're trying to save fuel. Help themselves out here a little bit. As they are about 2.5 seconds ahead of third place Zapata, who's got around Hinson. I would expect your 2 leaders in here in about 2 to 4 more laps. And I still think that puts them short by a couple. It's going to be tight. 2 of the fastest drivers here today. And the most consistent driver here today. How about Gavin Hinson? Qualified 5th and has hung around that 4th, 5th, 6th position pretty much the entire race. Gotta give a big shout out to him for his consistency here today. Just hanging tough and doing a great job. Maybe he can pull out a win here. Although he's gonna have to overcome the deficit he is on strategy and the 3 drivers in front of him being on the same strategy. Tyus Hermes leading the alternate strategy. Here in 5th. Does Helmlinger come down this time? 14 laps on the stint. If he was in fuel map 5, he might be able to go another lap or 2. He's going to bring it down right here. The 6th machine gives up 2nd spot to make his pit stop. With 18 laps remaining, I think he's going to have to make another splash and go at the end here unless we catch a caution. Now, when does Langton come down? Zapata and Hinson. Zapata probably this time. Langton and Hinson maybe next time by. Zapata, yes, he will hit the pit lane right here. Now it's up to Langton and Hinson, the last drivers to make their pit stop. And can they stretch it to the end? The gap is minimal between Langton and Hermes. It's only 3 seconds. Not a lot of wiggle room there. But does Langton, who has led 34 of the 84 today, hit pit road this time? No, one more for the 31. How about Hinson? Also staying on the racetrack. If they can make it, by my calculation, one more lap, they should be able to stretch it to the end here on fuel. It's going to be tight, though. This is a battle for the drivers who can make it to the end for sure. There goes Matson to 2nd. He's going to have to pit here in 4 to 5 laps, but he should be able to make it to the end on one more stop. Here comes Hinson right now. Langton, another lap. No, he's also on pit road. Now the question is, if Langton can make it to the end from here, when do Matson and Hermes pit? Will they cycle out in front of the 31? Do they need to take less fuel? Do they not take tires? What do you do? Langton is out of the box now, leaving pit road, did not take tires. Hinson will take 4 tires. Long stop, too, for the 39 machine. We're about to crown an Indy 250 champion as Peter Matson passes a lap machine. He's got T.S. Hermes in the 56 in tow. Jake Mackey is 4.5 back. Then Darrell Young, another 8 seconds behind this group. It's a 4-way battle. Really a 3-way battle. For the lead, is it Sean Langton? Is it Peter Matson, or is it T.S. Hermes? Langton cycles back to 6th position, 7.5 seconds back. Actually, sorry, scratch that. 29 seconds back of your leaders. Chase Rockford hits pit lane, as does Kyle Stewart. If Scott Miller does as well, yes, he does. That's Darrell Young behind them. That's your 4th place driver hitting pit road. Which means I would expect to see the 173 and the 56 hit pit road very shortly. Do they pit together? Do you try and offset by a lap? We're going to find out here. Riding on board with the 56 on the nose cam. He will stay out 1 lap longer. Peter Matson on the pit lane. Going to hand the lead over to the 56, who has led 5 times today. Trying to lead for the 6th one here, although he should have to come to pit road in the next lap or 2. Rolling 3 and 4. We're going to come here to 11 laps remaining. Kyle Stewart with a black flag. Possibly a pit exit violation. Another lap on the racetrack for T.S. Hermes. Oh my. Jake Mackey on the pit lane. Stephen Gibson can go another lap or two as well. This is exactly the fuel mileage I expected to see at the end of Caleb Hunt's Indy 250 here on VSPEED. If you like what you've seen so far, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification icon so you don't miss a moment of this great racing action that you can't get anywhere else. You found us. You might as well stick around a little while longer. Peter Matson passing Mackey. Matson is only about 2.5 seconds behind Helmlinger, who I don't believe can make it to the end here. It's going to be close for the 6 machine. There's your leader on pit road. And there goes Langton. Langton has gotten around him. If Langton can make it to the end, the battle for the lead, the battle for the win, will be between the 56, the 31, and the 173. Garrett Helmlinger should still have to pit here to make it to the end, although he is not out of it by any stretch either. Stephen Gibson, your leader currently, does have to pit. He's pitting right now. Going to hand the lead back to Sean Langton as he crosses the yard of bricks. There's Langton, Helmlinger, Hermes, and Matson. We've seen each of the last 2 runs, this 173 get better and be able to pass the 56. But with 9 laps to go, is there enough time? About an hour and a half of trying has got us in this situation, the setup for the end of this race. And potentially some teammates at work here. That's Kyle Stewart not too far in front of his Orange Speed teammates. The caution is out on the speedway. Throw it all out the window. Absolute game changer. John Ullman and Gavin Hinson have made contact. Hinson trying to get around the 15. Did not realize that Ullman was there. Oh, Ullman with a hard collision. Oh my goodness. The second time today we've seen the 34 up in the air. And just for good measure, Hinson thought he'd back into him. Give him a little how do you do. Let's ride on board here with the 34. The only word I can think for that is violent. Oh my goodness, what a massive hit there. That was the onboard with John Ullman, but this changes everything. Langton can make it to the end. Helmlinger, I think, can now make it to the end. He's going to be very close as he's probably rolling fuel map 8 right now, trying to save all the fuel he can. The 56 of Hermes. Peter Matson can make it to the end. Javier Zapata should be able to make it to the end as well. Pretty much the entire field, with the except Helmlinger's the only one I'm really questioning if he can make it. Zapata's on the edge of that boat as well. But do you stay out here? I think you have to. This is the Indy 250 we're talking about here. As Helmlinger's going to bring it down pit road, so will Zapata. That is going to concede at least their conceivable chance of winning this race. They could still make it through the field, as if we look at the timing and scoring, there's only 8 cars in the lead lap right now. We do not give waiver rounds here. as far as I know, Steve Tucker just got one, so maybe we do get waiver rounds here. So make that 9 on the lead lap. Scott Miller, the first driver, a lap down. Chase Rockford behind him. Kyle Stewart also trapped a lap down. But this is looking a lot like the Indy 250 did just a week ago. Sean Langton leading in the late stages. Not quite enough to get the win away from Rob Rader. See if he can get it right on the second try. Or will the 56 of T.S. Hermes, who's been up near the front all day, had an accident, worked his way back up to the front, does he have enough to wrangle this win away? How about Peter Matson, who is quietly but surely been excellent in putting himself in position to contend for this win? How about Jake Mackey, who has just hung around, got himself on the right strategy, and he's reaping the rewards, I should say, of the dividends paid to him. Stephen Gibson in 5th. Another driver's had a tough day. He had an accident early. But for the last 50 laps, he's been able to keep this thing pointed in the right direction with no damage. He finds himself with an opportunity. And Garrett Helmwinger, the first driver, he just hit the pit lane for fuel only. Javier Zapata behind him. He took tires, I believe. Did the 15, so will he be able to charge through the field? And how about Daryl Young? Definitely just took tires. And Steve Tucker, the last driver on the lead lap. These are the ones who I think they're on the lap, so they have a chance of winning this race, but that is the rundown with 5 to go. Remember, everyone, no green-white checkers here. This is Indianapolis. We don't do that in Indy cars. That's too dangerous for these guys. We will go to lap 100. We will go no further. Tire sets, we've had some drivers pit 5 times. Some drivers have pit 12 times. I'm looking at you, Stephen Gibson. Other drivers, 7, 8, and everything in between. So the strategy's a mixed bag. I don't think any of these drivers up at the front, with the exception of Stephen Gibson, have anywhere near fresh tires. The fuel mileage is out the window. We're going to have a natural 4-lap run to the finish. A caution here, if it happens after a lap, should seal the deal. And whoever the leader is at that time of caution will end up winning the Indy 250, Caleb Hunt's Indy 250. But can we get this restart off? Does Sean Langton have enough to hold off the rest of the field here and claim the victory? Sit down, everyone. Strap those belts tight. It's going to be a wild, wild ride to the finish. There's your field. Green flag in hand, and it is waving. We are green here. Big checkup, middle of the field. Helmwinger out of the way. Zapata makes contact with him. And we're 3 wide into the corner. Oh, we're spinning. Zapata's up in the air. There goes Helmwinger as well. The 13 of Mackey. Caution is out on the speedway. Daryl Young's in it as well. That might be the accident that seals the deal here. Can we get it back going? That's the question. We'll check out what happened here to these three cars. We saw it 3 wide into the corner, and Mackey just simply did not leave enough room for the other drivers involved. What happened to Helmwinger? He was well ahead of this. He kind of went around on his own. Back to the restart. We see the 6, the 97 in front of him, did not get a great jump. Had to lift. Oh, it was Mackey didn't get a good jump. Had to lift. Helmwinger dives into the corner here. And it just got loose on him. He just spun on his own. Lucky for him, no damage to that 6 machine. And not really a loss in track position either. He's going to fall back to 6th maybe. As we now settle out, is this the end of the race? Will Sean Langton clinch this win by virtue of this caution? Pace light's still on, no chance you need to pit here. Do we have a 1-lap dash to the finish? That's all it would be. We're going to take a quick step away, a quick commercial break with 2 laps to go. We'll be back to call the finale of this race. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here in Indianapolis, a surprise. The pace lights are out on the pace truck. We're going to have a 2-lap shootout to determine the winner of Caleb Hunt's Indy 250. Langton, Hermes, Matson, Gibson, and Helmling are your top 5. Can we make it to the end under green? And the green flag is out. 1 lap to go here in Indianapolis. It's the white flag. Langton out in front. Next flag's going to end it regardless. Look at the battle back here. Gibson, Matson, then others. Contact, crash. Matson's around. Heavy spin. Caution's not out yet. Langton continues to lead. Hermes behind him. Steve Tucker is in 3rd. And off of turn 4 for the final time today. The dominant car of the day, the 31 of Sean Langton. And Langton is going to win in Indianapolis. The margin of victory, about 3/300ths of a second. The 56 made the move at the last possible second and couldn't quite get there. Incredible drive. Led 45% of this race. Did Sean Langton. Led the opening lap from 6th. Let's watch him burn it down here. Indy 250 style. There's that highlighter yellow 31. In the driver's suit to match. Congratulations, Sean Langton, on winning here. Just outside of the shot, unfortunately, at Indianapolis. He earned that one for sure. We're going to take another quick commercial break, set up our results, and get interviews with your top 3, Langton, Hermes, and Tucker. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this. Here at the end of Caleb Hunt's Indianapolis 250, presented by Drive for Humanity. Drive for Humanity is a 501c3 based out of Indianapolis, ran by ARCA Menard Series driver Brayton Laster. Their goal is to raise awareness and help those in need, from the unhoused, those who are unable to put food on the table, or just people going through rough times. In 2025, Brayton is donating canned goods, non-perishables, and clothing to local shelters and food banks near every racetrack he visits on the 2025 ARCA Menard Series schedule. Donate for as low as $5 today and get your name on his car and help make a difference. That is Drive for Humanity VSPEED.org to check them out. Be back right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here at the conclusion, Caleb Hunt Indy 250, and here is how it went down. 12 cautions, over 100 laps with 27 lead changes. Came to a phenomenal fuel mileage race with a caution right at the end to really just up the drama. Sean Langton leads the most laps from his 6th position and wins the race. The 56 machine, Tyus Hermes, going to finish in the 2nd spot. Steve Tucker in 3rd. Garrett Hemlinger rounds out your top 4. Stephen Gibson will finish in 5th. 6th spot, Peter Madsen, who had a great shot at it until a last lap crash. Kyle Stewart's going to finish in 7th, the first driver, 1 lap down. Chase Rockford behind him. Scott Millard finishes in 9th. The 10th spot belongs to Kyle Holden. 11th will be Javier Zapata, who had the right idea with the strategy, just couldn't quite make it work. Daryl Young finishes in the 12th spot. Jake Mackey, after a wild crash with a few laps to go, finishes 13th in the 13. 14th to be Gavin Hinson. 15th, John Ullman. 16th to be Adam Olston. 17th, Brad Nelson, after he had some heavy damage, so did Olston. Michael Wingo finished with 51 laps down with some damage in 18th. Christian Blackwell finishes 19th. And Gavin Scalese finishes in the 20th spot. Rounding out your field here today, be Alan Stauffer and Caleb Hunt, who was obviously race control and the one organizing the event here today. Now, with all that being said, it is time to get to the interviews with your top 3. Let's start off with 3rd place driver, Steve Tucker. Steve, Morgan up in the VSPEED booth, you got a copy.
Hello, yes.
Well, I talked to you earlier in the show. I believe you were actually my first interview of the day, if I'm not mistaken. And here we find ourselves, some 100 laps later, finishing in the 3rd position. Tell me a little about how the race went since I last talked to you.
I mean, it was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, but a lot of cautions. But I mean, that's gonna happen, I guess, at a tough track like this. But I don't know. I mean, for me, it was we were up front for majority of the time, top 5, top 3-ish, and then I don't know who it was, but we were side by side on the top, he came up on me and we just wrecked, and that kind of killed a lot of what we had going on. So at that point, just able to kind of muscle our way back to the front. A lot of cautions definitely helped at that point. And yeah, finished third. There's that one lap shootout at the end, which I mean, obviously we want to try and go green flag right for the fans and for the racing, and nobody wants to end under yellow. Excuse me. So made a move and finished third. I think two guys wrecked in front of me, fourth and fifth. So I don't know. Seas kind of parted ways, and we finished third. So overall, I'll take it. We had a lot of fun in the Harpoon Design Dallara, I guess you call it today.
Yeah, it is definitely Delari. It was a wild one out there. I thought that it was going to be a fuel mileage race until we had those two late cautions. How were you feeling about it? You were good to make it to the end, no problems there for your number one machine.
Yeah, so when I was talking to you, right, we kind of worked the race backwards. So if you can go 14 laps on fuel, okay, so that's you kind of do the math backwards from the end of the race, and it worked. I mean, if it would have stayed, if we weren't wrecked, we would have been fine for fuel. If it went a certain way. It's kind of like that endurance mentality, right? For anybody who's endurance racing,
Right.
typically you work the race backwards as far as like trying to eliminate a stint or whatever. That way it makes you faster and you can cut that out. But so that's what we tried to do. But I mean, again, we're here for the funsies as well. So we're just trying to have a good time but we did what we could with what we had.
Right on the funsies and now the munsies as you are in the pay, as you mentioned earlier in the show. That was going to be the goal here. Hopefully, get in the money. Who do you want to thank? You want to shout out here for this excellent third place finish and a great rebound from your team?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely Harpoon Design. They make some of the best paints on the service. You can look them up, Brantley Roden in Harpoon Design on Trading Paints. He's among the top. I think he has like 10,000 paints right now, which is insane. So go and check him out. He's affiliated with JGR on the Cup side. So a lot of good paints. And yeah, go get yourself a good one.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, Steve. Congratulations on third place here today. And we'll catch you next time.
Yes, sir.
All right, that is your third place finisher. Now we're going to move up one spot up the finishing order here. Tyus Hermes. Driver 56, you got a copy.
Hello.
Hello. Well, you ran up front for the vast majority of this race. Started on pole, did not end up leading the first lap. You kind of hung around that top five, had an accident at one point, worked your way back up through the field. How was the race from your perspective?
Yeah, it started good with Paul, but eventually I just decided to do some fuel saving. But of course, 50% fuel maximum. I wanted to do some fuel saving. But then at the caution, I got hit in the rear. Luckily, I had the fast repair, so I could make a quick pit stop. But yeah, that cost a lot of time. Sent me to the back of the field, and from there on, just try to make my way through the race. Yeah, and just try to go through the field. I think it worked out pretty well. And at the end, of course, disappointing with such a close finish. But P2, we take it.
Yeah, 4 100ths of a second. The margin of victory. I think if that start finish line is any further down towards turn one, you probably get alongside him and you probably end up taking that spot away right at the finish line, a la Sam Hornish Jr. I mean, I don't really know what more to say. I mean, you really were one of the few consistently up at the front cars all day. Is this a racetrack and a car combination that you have a lot of experience with?
Actually not. I only do the Indy 500. I did the special event in second split this year. So I got a little bit of experience with the track, but I almost never do oval racing. So yeah, I'm really happy with the result, and yeah, it was a good race.
Nice. Well, fantastic. I mean, you had a great run here today. Congratulations on second. Anyone you want to shout out or thank while we got you up here?
Uh, I think my team. They did a really good job today, helping me through the race with all the hectic that was going on, and they keep me up to nose. So yeah, I want to thank them a lot. They made this happen.
As they say, teamwork makes the dream work. Congratulations on the second
Exactly.
place
Exactly.
finish. And
Thank you.
we'll catch you next time here. Good job up
Thank
here
you.
today. You bet.
I'll see you.
See ya. That is your second place finisher here today. And then there was one. Let's go get him up here in the booth. John Langton,
think-
you got a copy.
Hey,
Well, here we stand in VSPEED victory lane where you wanted to be 8 days ago for the VSPEED 250. You got this one, a little redemption here. What did it take?
it's good strategy. I stretched my fuel just enough to come in on the second to last stop, and then just had enough to get to that last little window, and hoping it was going to go green. I had a nice little cushion, but had enough fuel to stay out, keep the clean air, and get it done.
Yeah, I thought you were able to make it to the end if we didn't have those cautions, correct? At the end?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I thought so. I mean, I thought you had stretched it just enough, that one extra lap to be able to make it. It was looking like 86 was the magic number. I think you made it to 85, but with the ability to stretch it on fuel. Unfortunate for Garrett, who came up just a little short on that fuel strategy. I mean, were you guys talking to each other trying to figure out what the optimal time to pit was there at the end?
Yeah, I think he just led a little too long and then burned up too much fuel. I sat behind him on the fuel map 5, and I saved quite a bit of fuel. I think we should have probably both switched to 5 and swapped back and forth. And I think he may have been able to stretch it, but I think he just stayed out and broke the wake of the air a little too long and burned up too much fuel. So he had to come in 2 laps, and I was stuttering coming in after that. I pushed it 1 more lap, just a little security lap, and I was stuttering coming into the stall.
Yeah, I think that one extra security lap was the one that gave you the opportunity to go out and get the lead afterwards with the short pit stop. You're only in the box for about 6 seconds, and that got you out ahead of the 56. And then how about the run to the finish? Were you worried we were going to have a Sam Hornish Jr. type finish there with him just edging you at the line?
Yeah, I saw him getting bigger in the mirror coming off 4, and I thought I was going to take his air away, but he did a good job of drafting up, and I knew it was going to be close, but I thought I was going to just have enough to get about a half car on him.
Yeah, 4/100ths of a second, the margin of victory here today in the Caleb Hunt Indy 250. And while we got you up here, who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out for what was, all in all, a pretty fun race here for 100 laps?
Just thanks to VSPEED for the great broadcast, my teammates, Garrett, Kyle. They had fun working with them today, and thank you, Caleb, for putting it on.
Awesome. Well, that's your winner here today, Sean Langton, for the Caleb Hunt Indy 250. We'll catch you next time, Sean.
Thanks, Morgan. Bye.
All right, and that is going to do it for our show here today. Hope you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, make sure to leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a moment of the action going forward. You, of course, were watching the Caleb Hunt Indianapolis 250 here at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Another big shout out to Drive for Humanity. Drive for Humanity is a...
I'm being attacked by a tiger.
Interesting. Drive for Humanity is a 501c3 based out of Indianapolis and ran by Arkham Mart Series driver Brayton Laster. Their goal is to raise awareness and help those in need, from the unhoused, those who are unable to put food on the table, or just people going through rough times. In 2025, Brayton is donating canned goods, non-perishables, and food at local shelters or food banks near every track he visits on the 2025 Arkham Mart Series schedule. Donate for as low as $5 today. Get your name on his car and help make a difference. DriveForHumanity.org is where you can find those guys. And for everyone who made this thing go round, Caleb Hunt, all the work he did to organize this event, everyone at VSPEED, Eddie, Adam, Bradley, appreciate everything that they've done to help make this thing go round. I've been Morgan Cook, your lead in production here tonight. Thank you. Have a great one, and we'll catch you next time here on VSPEED. Hopefully in a couple hours for the SNR Challenger Series and the Cup Series. Following that, stay tuned. You don't want to go anywhere. It's gonna be a fun one here on VSPEED. See you next time.